All right, and welcome back to Washington Commanders Insider. Today we're talking about the Washington Commanders, and we're talking about really their expectations and has it really changed. And so went ahead and looked at this article. It's on Hog Haven, and it's just asking some questions, and I wanted to go over them. And so the first question here is, how confident are we in the direction of this franchise? And so looks like it got a pretty high percentage here. And so I must agree that I do think that this franchise is in a great place. I think that they're moving in the right direction. I think that the front office, I love the fact that they are very patient. They're not a front office that indicates that they're just going to make a signing just because. Like they're not just a franchise that's going to make that splash signing like it used to be. And so I love that about the Washington Commanders. I think that they're very strategic now. It seems like they have a game plan. It seems like they have like a timeline, and they're looking at certain players to go along with Jaden Daniels and their young core. So I think that, yes, this franchise is in the right direction. I know I was kind of questionable at first with the hire with Dan Quinn, but it looks like that it has become a good fit. And so, hopefully he can continue to help this franchise build. He's obviously been at the highest level with the Atlanta Falcons, obviously close to winning the Super Bowl, didn't get it done there. And he's had a ton of success with the Dallas Cowboys. So hopefully that continues. But yes, I think the direction for this franchise is going in the right direction. Next up, they're talking about Jaden Daniels in question number 2, and just now that he struggled over the last 2 weeks, is there a concern here? And so, look, one of the things that they bring up here is, I guess, is Dan Quinn talking about him clearly not being injured anymore, because that was the question, like, is he injured? And he was talking about just really he hasn't had a whole bunch of playing time. I guess that they've been, kind of making sure that he's in a good space there, coming back from this injury, and there's really no concern there anymore. And so I just think that he's run into some tough games. Should he have rested? Maybe. But, with these back-to-back games that he's had, and essentially with the Pittsburgh Steelers and then a short week into a tough divisional opponent against the Philadelphia Eagles, look, it's a challenge, and that's part of the NFL season. And I think that Jaden Daniels has still shown his composure. And in those games, we've been in those games. Even this last game where we got beat by the Philadelphia Eagles, we were there. We weren't able to get the offense going like we would want to. And so I think in both of those games, we really got away from our identity, which is running the football. And then we also gave up some big plays that happened in the Philadelphia Eagles game, and it happened in the Steelers game. And so hopefully we can get back to keeping those big plays in front of us, and also to just back to running the football. That's been our identity. They took away Jaden Daniels and his scrambling ability, kind of made us one-dimensional. And so I think that that's what the Washington Commanders are going to have to do, is just get back to playing their style of football. So next up, predictions and outcomes for the Dallas Cowboys. And so, look, I like the Washington Commanders against the Dallas Cowboys in this one. The Dallas Cowboys have really been struggling, and it's been a tough season for them. They gave the money to Dak Prescott and then also to CeeDee Lamb. Both of those players have really struggled. That defense has been a mess as well. And I just saw something here where they're going to play like a kind of a dual quarterback kind of situation against the Commanders. So you can expect to see Trey Lance in some packages out there, and then Cooper Rush will be out there starting primarily. And I thought that that was interesting to me, because you gave up draft capital to go out there and get Trey Lance, and so you're not starting him. And so I think that that's a head scratcher. But hey, this is the Washington Commanders, not the Dallas Cowboys that we talk about here. But I like the Washington Commanders in this game. Hopefully they can get back to their winning ways after that. And so, just kind of looking through a couple of these questions here, and I think that if I were to pick like a point total, I think the Commanders could get them by 10 or more here. I definitely do think so. And I think that Jaden Daniels will be back to being himself again. I think it's just going to be a matter of him really getting back to just the identity of this offense. So I'm not too worried about that. I mean, look, Terry McLaurin, 1 catch for 10 yards. Noah Brown, 1 catch for 10 yards. And I think that that was a direct just correlation to just not being able to run the football. When this team is able to run the football and get into that power running, then I think that we're in a great situation. And so that means that, yeah, Chris Rodriguez Jr., maybe we have to play him. I mean, we've gone out, we've signed him off of the practice squad. So I'd like to see him a little bit more, maybe even some more Jeremy McNichols. I love Austin Eckler. I love what he's doing. I think that he does maybe get into a play bowl or play a Pro Bowl level. So I think he can get to a Pro Bowl level. And I think that, we need to continue to utilize him, but I'm just not sure that we utilize him as a power back out there. And so I think that that's really the situation for the Washington Commanders moving forward. So with that being said, look, we'll be talking a little bit more about the Washington Commanders and just talking about this game, breaking them down. I know we still have quite a ways to go before we start talking about the Commanders versus the Dallas Cowboys. And so we'll be bringing out some stats, some statistics now as we start to jump into this game. And so let me know in the comments what you're thinking about these questions that were surveyed. Do you feel like, yes, the Washington Commanders are moving in the right direction? Yes. Do you feel like, yes, Jaden Daniels is moving in the right direction? Or do you feel like, oh, maybe the league's figured him out, which I don't think so. And then lastly, do you feel like the Washington Commanders are going to beat the Dallas Cowboys? I think that they can. Hopefully they come into this game and they do what winning teams do, and that's go out there and win the football game. You want to establish winning habits. You don't want to go out there and it's a game you're supposed to win and you struggle to win that football game. That's not a good sign. That's not something that's going to work well, especially when you're trying to establish a culture. You're trying to establish really an identity of winning. Like those are games you have to go out there and you have to win. So I'm hoping that the Washington Commanders don't go out there and really play down to the opponent. So I really haven't seen that this year. I don't think that that's going to be an issue. And I do expect for this game to be a little bit of a grind because it is, a divisional game. And anytime you start to talk about divisional games, like that can go either way, but you want to make sure that you seize that momentum. And so that's why I said that it's important that they get out there and they get to their identity. They make sure that they dictate how this football game is played, and they do not let the Dallas Cowboys dictate how this game is played on their terms. And so anyway, let me know in the comments what you are thinking. This is Rico. This is Washington Commanders Insider, and I will see you guys on the next one. All right.